You guys, the real reason I'm not going to Burning Man this year is because there's just way too much Satanism, there's way too much hedonism, and I only figured this out after going 10 times. Just kidding. Hi everyone, it's Kiki. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be doing a face mask. I don't know which one. Either the Biocollagen Deep Mask that like turns clear, or this glutathione niacinamide one that I got. I'll also be talking about Burning Man tickets. As you may know, the tickets were on sale this week. I opted not to purchase tickets, even though I've gone so many times. I love going back. It is like my spiritual home, but I will be sitting it out. So this video will be about why I'm sitting it out. So if you're interested, keep watching. Okay, so I think I'm gonna try this glutathione niacinamide sheet mask. So let's give it a try. Okay, so I wrote some notes, some talking points, so that way I don't forget, because my brain fog is still really, really bad. I've gone to that experimental city more times than I can count, and I feel like it's probably at least somewhere around 10 times, at least 10 times that I've gone. I've always enjoyed it every time, and it was always like the burn that I needed and not the burn that I wanted. And I always learned so many lessons every year that I go. I always grow. I feel like it is a pressure cooker, and you get a lot of life lessons if you choose to see it that way. I volunteered with many departments in the organization, and I've also volunteered with little camps as well, and that's fun. I've also gone on my own, just like on the Outer Ring, and that's fun too. I've always had a good time when I've gone. And if you saw my videos from last year, you probably saw that I volunteered at the airport, and that was a lot of fun. I know it's not just an event, it's like an experimental city where you go and there are ways that you can contribute and be yourself and practice self-reliance and practice becoming more independent, and which you can take into the default world, which is what I love. So last year I even drove an art car. That was fun too. But this year I'm going to be sitting it out, and I'll be telling you why. Okay, let's put this on. A little goopy. Okay, first talking point. My health comes first. As you may know or not know, if you have been following along, I have long COVID, so my health is not the best right now. I have been diagnosed with ME/CFS, and you may know it as chronic fatigue syndrome, and I've also been diagnosed with dysautonomia and POTS. I'm not going to go over the symptoms because that's a lot, and my health conditions are why I don't want to go. So Burning Man takes place in a desert. It takes place in Black Rock Desert in Nevada. That means extreme heat, extreme cold, dust storms, and air so dry that you need to be drinking water consistently with electrolytes and not actually drinking alcohol. Otherwise you get dehydration. And I got dehydration one year because I didn't drink water enough for a certain time period. So my body is still, I'm just looking in the mirror here, my body is still recovering from long COVID. I've been seeing a specialist, and I am legally at this point considered disabled due to the changes in my body and my capacity. I have reduced physical and mental capacity. So that means my energy is very, very limited, and my brain is not as sharp as it used to be. And when you are there, it is quite a stimulating environment, and you need to always be alert and on your toes because it can also be unsafe. Even though it is fun, it can be unsafe because it is put on by us for us. One of the funniest things I think I've learned from there is it's safety third. When you hear that term safety third, you're like, yeah, you know, things could happen. So watch out and be a little bit more aware. So Burning Man is incredibly stimulating. There's lots of lights and sounds, things to do, art cars, art to see, activities to do, people to meet. It's a lot, okay? It's a lot for my brain to handle. Accidents happen all the time. One year I went down the slide and I ripped my butt on C0VID slide mouth because I didn't have the proper covering on my butt, so it ate half my butt that year. Yeah, accidents happen, and in my current state, I am injured. For example, you don't send an injured astronaut on a space mission because that's actually very unsafe. Right now, in this current condition, being in that environment is just not safe for me, and I want to make sure that I am safe. You can die there. Number 2, I wrote, the workload is no joke. Okay, so a lot of people think Burning Man is a festival. You see all of the DJs that are there, all of the parties, and that is a lot of fun. But Burning Man is not a festival. It is an experimental city where we all come together to put on the show. The show that you see is put on because we have done that. It's not just a festival. It's not. It's a full-on survival challenge. So what do I mean? You have to be self-contained, self-reliant. You have to be prepared for everything. You can't leave a mess. It's totally leave no trace. So for example, when you go to a festival, they are selling food, water, coffee, costumes. They do have those RV pump out things now and porta potties, but nobody is selling water. They are selling ice, but that's about it. Like if you forget food, I guess you just have to hope and pray somebody brings food for you, but that's not the energy you go in with there. You don't go, oh, I'm gonna bring nothing and the playa will provide. No, you have to go there being able to provide for yourself first. Once you can provide for yourself first, then you can take advantage of the things. You can't rely on that stuff. Yeah, so there are no garbage cans there. You bring everything that you need and you take it back out, even the gray water. So say if you're taking a shower, all that water that comes off, you have to bring it back with you. You can't just be like, oh, okay, like take a shower and then just like leave it. You know, preparing for something like that means there's like tons of preparation. Like I know I'm already spooled up, ready to go. I have a camper van, all my Burning Man gear, so it's not as much preparation, but still, even with all the stuff, even if I don't buy any new costumes, even if I don't upgrade anything in the van or my setup for the camp, it's still a lot of preparation for me. So if you have nothing, it's like a lot. Oh my God, I can't imagine. Oh my, I remember the first time I went, I had like nothing and I slept in a, what did I sleep in? I slept in a geodesic dome with a tent on top, and that was like such a bad idea. Anyways, so yeah, there's weeks of preparation before, and then you have your cleanup after, and everyone tells you that cleanup is bad. When you come back, there's so much dust on everything and it just never goes away. If you saw my other video with the coats on, you will see that I like got dusty just by putting that coat on. Even when you get there, it's not exactly relaxing. When you get there, you're setting up your camp, you're having to bike everywhere. What else are you doing? You're dealing with the elements, you know, like dust storms, heat waves. It's a lot. Last time there was rain and people were asked to stay in place, shelter in place. Right now, in my current condition, in my situation, walking from the bedroom to the living room makes me tired. So if I don't have the capacity to get myself properly from the bedroom to the living room, I don't think taking on something like going to Burning Man with the bikes and the dust storms is a good idea. It's almost like a marathon when you go. One year I did run a 5K there, so that was a lot of fun, but I'm not that healthy this year. I'm not at that peak. I'm very not anywhere close to that. Oh, more on the workload. The drive down there from Vancouver is a lot. The drive up from Vancouver is a lot. I have one of my last semesters starting in September, and whenever I come back, I'm always so tired, and it's always in such a rush. And going from like Burning Man to the default world with no with no decompression in between, it's really hard because you're going from this different reality to the default world. And I have to be sitting in a classroom and paying attention and learning after being in this experimental city. Your brain, the mindset, your brain can't adjust. Well, I mean, I've done it before. I don't like it. My brain can't adjust. I don't enjoy that I haven't had time to decompress. Okay, another reason, number 3, I know this may get some of your panties up in a bunch, but it is a political factor. And recently, due to the tariffs, our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, has asked all of the Canadians to stop purchasing anything that is from the States. I've seen stores rearranging all of their displays to hide the American goods at the bottom, and I've seen them featuring the Canadian products. He has also asked us to stop travel to the States if it's not necessary. We're all doing this together as a country to make a point to the president. We love our American brothers and sisters, but he feels like this is a way we can stand up to a bully so we don't get pushed over. We're doing this as a country, and I feel like if I don't do it, it's almost like committing treason, don't you think? Tickets to Hawaii are really cheap right now, but I'm not gonna fly there and be like, hey, you know, I got a cheap flight to Hawaii because no one else is flying there. And it's like, we're trying to make this point together. I don't want to be that loser that's like, oh, I'm going to take advantage of this because no one's doing it. No. So yeah, so Justin Trudeau has asked us to cut spending and travel down there. And he has asked us nicely once, and I don't want him to have to ask us again a second time, because if it is a second time, then you know it's not going to be as nice. So you're probably wondering, what am I going to be doing with my time if I'm not going all the way to Burning Man and back from Vancouver? There are some local things that I'm going to be doing. There's Shambhala and Base Coast. I mean, there's also a regional burn that I could go check out and see all the regional burners. There's that, but I'm primarily going to be focusing on healing. I'm going to be resting. I'm going to be doing activities that don't feel like survival training. I'm going to be doing activities that are a little bit more low-key, less stimulating, less active. I'm going to be doing things where I will be enjoying my life and just taking it easy this time. So instead of prepping for one of the most physically demanding experiences out there, I'm going to be staying local, doing things that feel good, and giving my body time to rest. Okay, am I going to go back? Yes, I'm definitely going to go back because I love going and my friends are there. I consider them my family, some of my closest friends. Like I said, I always get life lessons and it's great. But I'm not going to go back until I'm physically ready and I have the capacity to be able to handle, say, for example, being stuck in a dust storm for a few hours by yourself. That is a physically demanding event, and I need to be able to handle that. I need to be able to, like, what if I hurt myself? I need to be able to take care of myself. I can't just go willy-nilly and be a liability for everyone. I know there are accessibility options, but I just want to make sure I am always on my toes. You could get run over by an art car. You could get, run over by a bike. You can get T-boned by a bike. Like, there's a lot of things that happen there. Structures could just fall because people are building them. Of course, there's like codes and safety measures that they're taking, but let's be real here. The sun is really hot and there's all these factors that are happening. These are temporary structures. They're not meant to be forever. I need to be able to take care of myself during a heat wave. The only way I'm going to go back is if I can bike myself. Last year I was on the back of somebody's tandem bike because I couldn't even bike. This year, right now, I can't even do a lot of things in the city. So doing things in the desert is going to be more difficult. And I feel like that's just a safety issue there. I do love Burning Man. It's an incredible part of my life. It is a big integral part of my life. I've met so many friends there and I will be going back. This year, it's just not the right choice for me. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that choice. But I just wanted to let you know why somebody would not want to go. And these are my reasons. So I hope that makes sense. If there's anything else, I'll probably add it like later in the comments or I'll edit it in.